Hey, what's good, everybody? It's your boy Onyx at GoingFullNerd, and I wanted to just kind of share something with you for a little coffee time. Pretty much what I'm going to talk to you about right now is my top 10 superhero flicks of my opinion. Now, I know some of you are going to argue and complain and be like, well, you don't know what the F you're talking about. But I'm going to tell you, each of these movies had something a little special that made me think that they were above the rest. And I'm going to go ahead and let you know which ones they are. Starting at number 10, the original movie that made you believe a man could fly. Superman the movie from 1978. The reason why this movie is number 10 on my list, because it really started me going on superhero movies. The special effects, as of today's standards, they're kind of cheesy, but back then in 1978, seeing this movie as a wide-eyed kid, I was like, aw, damn! And the fact that we had Superman in all his powerful glory doing his thing in Metropolis got me excited as a kid, and it was just too much. It was just too much. Number 9 on my list is Hellboy from 2004. That's right, the Ron Perlman movie based off the Dark Horse comic book. Now, the reason why this ends up on my list is because when you look at character design and the makeup and all the good stuff that they had for that particular movie, it was beyond reproach. It was pretty damn good. And the fact that they kept the story relatively close to the original source material. And that's something that you'll find throughout my whole list, is that if the source material was pretty damn close to the movie, it went higher and higher on my list. So, like I said, coming in at 9, Hellboy. Yo, you can't have a top 10 comic book movie list without this movie, and that is Blade from 1998. The OG Wesley Snipes, I've been cheating on my taxes and they're getting ready to send my ass to jail, Wesley Snipes. New Jack City, coming off of being Nino Brown, Wesley Snipes. He pretty much played the Daywalker to the T. He pretty much set the standard for Blade, bringing this third tier. I'ma say it. Matter of fact, Blade was like even a 4th tier comic book superhero until Wesley Snipes got a hold of him. And then the fact that they changed the comic books to resemble and act more like Wesley Snipes proved the strength of this movie over time. Now let's take a look at something that's not your typical Marvel or DC comic book movie. And I'm going to say, coming in at number 7 was Kick-Ass. That's right, Kick-Ass by Mark Millar. Now, he's had a couple of comic book movies that have been published based off of his graphic novels, but Kick-Ass, with its parody of Batman and Robin with Big Daddy and Hit Girl, and the fact that it kind of showed what would happen if there were real life superheroes. I mean, let's be realistic. As much as Kick-Ass got his ass whooped in the beginning of that film, you gotta say they put their foot in it. and I really didn't mean to joke with that. My bad. But coming in at number 7 on GoingFullNerd's top 10 list of comic book films, Kick-Ass. Coming in at number 6 is a stylized graphic novel by Frank Miller. No, not the Dark Knight Returns or anything like that, not the animated film. But what I'm talking about is Sin City, the 2005 version with its all-star cast. Jessica Alba, then you had Bruce Willis, you had, Devin Aoki, you had all these stars in this whatever. Anyway, in this black and white stylized film done in a serial style, basically flipping from story to story, interconnected in a dark, dismal city full of corruption, crime, and craziness. Yo, Sin City, awesome flick. That's why it came in at number 6 on Going Full Nerd's Top 10 comic book film. Now that we're sitting at the halfway point, coming in at number 5 is the 2012 effort of Marvel Studios after the resurgence, The Avengers. Yo, even though a lot of people had complaints about Avengers, the biggest key takeaway is that this was a big undertaking to get all of these superheroes into a story on the big screen. And the key point of having that story on the big screen was this. There were singular movies that introduced pretty much all the other characters. So this is something that just hasn't been done. You've pretty much taken a comic book and put it on screen, meaning crossovers. Yeah, that's right. How one issue, one book leads to another, leads to another, leads to another, with this being the golden child of the Marvel Cinematic Universe at the time. Avengers comes in at number 5 on the Going Full Nerd Top 10 comic book list. Comic book movie list. Let me get that right. Now, let's slide up into number 4, which is another offering by Marvel Studios, and that was Captain America, the Winter Soldier. And what kind of made this better than the Captain America First Avenger movie, or in my opinion, better than Captain America Civil War, is the fact that this was a spy thriller through and through. It had twists, it had turns, and even though as a longtime comic book fan, you knew what was going to happen a little bit, just the non-stop action and seeing the fall of S.H.I.E.L.D. on the big screen made it all worthwhile. Basically shaking Captain America and his belief system to the core. That's why the Russo brothers, thanks a lot, appreciate that for Captain America the Winter Soldier, which came in at number 4. Now we're down to the top 3 films of Going Full Nerd when it comes to comic book movies. Coming in at number 3, The Dark Knight. Now, this is the thing about The Dark Knight, and this is why this was the best out of the Christopher Nolan trilogy of films starring Batman with Christian Bale. As a Batman fan, I really wasn't digging Christian Bale. He was good, he was okay, but what made this movie was the over-the-top performance by the late Heath Ledger. And I will tell you, that is why this movie ended up at the top of mostly everybody's list with the Academy Award nominations, the just over-the-top portrayal that Heath Ledger gave for the Joker. I mean, it's real hard to follow that, you know, and I'm not even going to talk about what came at Suicide Squad and all that good stuff. You can check that review out on the YouTube channel, Going Full Nerd. Just take a search. But, you know, to quote Heath Ledger from that movie, "Did you want me to tell you a little bit of how I got these scars?" This movie was on point. That's why it's number 3 on Going Full Nerd's Top 10 comic book movie list. Coming in at number 2 is Deadpool. Even though I can't stand the producers over at Fox because of how they fucked up the X-Men franchise, how they pretty much put the Fantastic Four franchise in a headlock and choked that sucker to death, what they did with Deadpool knocked it out the park. We can even forget where they just pretty much screwed Deadpool over in the Wolverine Origins movie and sewed up the Merc with a mouth, because this movie right here, rumored, hey, they could get an Oscar for something in there, I think. But if it wasn't for the fact that somebody leaked the B-roll test footage that they did, this movie probably would have never have gotten made. And it is a must-see for any comic book movie fan. DC, Marvel, independent alike, this is almost the standard of how it should be done. Now, this brings us to our number 1. Number 1 comic book movie. And I know it's going to cause some controversy. I know that everybody's going to be completely upset at this movie that I chose. But I will tell you, from the stylized scene, from the character portrayals, and the fact that it's this close to being exactly like its comic book adaptation, this movie ends up on the GoingFullNerd comic book list as number 1. As number 1. And that's Zack Snyder's Watchmen. I know some people got issues with a big blue Johnson on the screen, especially when you saw it in IMAX, but that's the reason this movie stayed on point. Even though it really didn't get the acclaim that I think it should have, this was one of those movies that you had to go see, and if you're a true comic book fan, you dug it. Now, Alan Moore, the creator, the writer who wrote the book, pretty much blasted it. Because, hey, everything's not going to be exactly like the book, but I think the character portrayals were close enough and that the stylization of the movie fit. Now, Zack Snyder, I think he effed up Batman vs. Superman personally, because that type of style really didn't fit with those characters. But that's my opinion. But The Watchmen, I know you're going to be upset, but that's my number 1 choice. Now, there's some movies that I dig, and I give them an honorable mention, and that's like the Spawn with Michael Jai White. I mean, you know, and John Leguizamo. That was okay for the time, and that gave us what we wanted. We wish that Todd McFarlane would greenlight a brand new movie using today's special effects and get some good story behind it, but I digress. It's okay. We also dig Ant-Man from Marvel Studios. That was a movie that nobody expected to rise to the top, but it didn't make my list. Same goes for Guardians of the Galaxy, which had the whole 1970s, musical soundtrack thing going for it, and the eclectic clash of characters that kind of made us laugh and got us involved, especially with, the after credit scenes and stuff like that. But I give them the honorable mention. Now, there's a ton of other superhero films out there, and I know that everybody has a different opinion. So what I like for you to do is like this video, subscribe to this video, and leave a comment below as you share it to your friends, because I want you to comment what your favorite superhero films are and why I should feature it here on GoingFullNerd. This is your boy Onyx. I appreciate everything. Love the way that you guys tune in. Check out the videos. Let's keep it up. Remember, the talk show, 6 p.m. live every Sunday, Eastern Standard Time on YouTube. And videos all over the place. So get with your boy. Holla at me. Peace. I'm out. And you enjoy the comment.